I'll be honest, I gave up hope that this day would come years ago. When the magical game factory site went down, I just assumed my money had been stolen. But nonetheless, here we are. I remember when I ordered my reprint of Pure Solar a few years ago and decided that I wanted to back what was then called Project Y, I assumed it'd maybe be a year or two away. Now here I am, almost 7 years later. Now I'm not going to get into the details of what went down a few years ago. I'll have a couple links to some more in-depth videos by Sticka and HeyPoorPlayerTV. They're done really well and go over pretty much everything, so if you're interested, I highly recommend you check them out. But what exactly is going on right now? Well, to start things off, out of nowhere, on December 13th, 2020, backers of Paprium received this email. Project Y Investor, you are Grandmaster of Patience. You should receive a couple of emails in the next few hours. The game is there. Surely it's not perfect, but it's still a couple steps ahead of anything made before. I understand it was a long and scary wait, but we decided to put all our effort into making the game happen. As you may know, we have been scammed by PayPal and had to shut down everything down to our email server for the last 3 years. For the details, PayPal operate many branches under the same name, so we opened a new PayPal account in USA, Iowa, and hopefully this will help. Unfortunately, the Magical Game Factory concept, while ahead of its time, had too few resources to be properly implemented. Most of the other projects we had outsourced/backed or planned didn't come to fruition, and the concept is way too complicated when you look at the flatness of websites like Kickstarter. I did now cut off all the features and pages related to the factory to avoid further spam, confusion, and stupidity. I don't have any regret about making the pages back then and deleting them now. More detail is enclosed in each copy of the game for you to read. Thanks again, Fonz. So what I find interesting is that they're saying that it's not perfect, but a couple of steps ahead of anything made before. For those of you who do not know, the most recent build of the game was a buggy mess displayed at a party in Paris celebrating the game. It apparently did not go over well with the fans, and there weren't even any enemies in the game, so it only being a couple of steps ahead is not exactly a good sign. Shortly after that email, I received another telling me that my pre-order was ready to be shipped. I was able to get my copy packed and shipped in just a couple of days, but the arcade stick that I pre-ordered more than 3 years prior didn't have enough stock for me to receive my shipment. Is that not the entire point of making a pre-order? I spent money 3 years ago to reserve a controller for when the game released, and somehow they're out of stock on something that hasn't even shipped yet? I reached out to Fonzie and he said he'd work on it, but so far, nothing has been updated. Anyway, later that same day, backers received the following email. Thank you for your patience. We are proud today to once again deliver. More than 30 years after the initial release of the system, 20 years after the end of the 16-bit era, and 8 years of sweat, this is the ultimate game in the console's library. Size shock, speed shock, sound shock. Paprium is the pinnacle of video game programming, engineering, and artistic excellence. Nothing less. Believe it or miss it. Actually, Paprium is much more than a game. It's the total and absolute victory against the against the odds. Okay, so on a personal note, I think this is a bizarre thing to claim, considering in the previous email he literally said the game is only a couple of steps ahead of the previous build. So I don't know where he's coming from with this angle. We are at this very time packing and soon shipping our pre-orders. The release day will be on December 16th, 2020. Our stocks are limited and we will likely sold out in a snap. You will be able to pre-order for the next shipping batch, estimated delivery first trimester 2021. Don't panic, the wait, it's worth it. In the past, and whenever we could, we always sold our products at a floor price, and some of you may notice a steep increase in our pricing. To clear any misunderstanding, our first batch of Paprium was developed, manufactured, and shipped at our own expense. We have to recover this massive loss in our future sales. Moreover, we believe that it is not an Android, PS5, or Wii U game. It's closer to a tailor-made item. The aftermarket, secondhand, price don't lie. Our products often reach 200% to 1000% of our original sale price. As opposed to the past, we will also update our price as our limited editions get closer to sold out. Anyone pissed about lack of support? Well, we cut out all our costs and staff so the game can ever release, and the game is there. That's all that matters. Then there's some information, and moreover, we announce, no, question mark, what's that? Question mark, about, a bit bold to announce another project after the mess that the Paprium releases turned out to be. Not to mention the fact that the pre-order prices have doubled, even quadrupled in price depending on the version you're getting since the original backers ordered them. I understand that he's trying to make back lost money, but that's a giant increase in price, especially considering the reputation he's gotten over the last 3 years of radio silence. All I can tell you is I will certainly not be buying into whatever new project he's talking about. And to see him justify the increase in price because of resale price online is a bit off to me. The resale price of something is only high if people want that item. For Pure Solar, that may have been the case, but we don't even know whether or not Paprium will be playable, let alone good at this point. And it sounds like they're going to be raising prices as the stock gets closer to being sold out. Unless he's saying he'll drop them, but I honestly, based on his wording, doubt that. So then it all boils down to one question then. What about the game? Now that Paprium is here, how is it? Was it worth the wait and being left in the dark for so many years? Is it worth the new asking price? Let's take a look. This is what I thought I'd do when I recorded the intro to that video. But things did not turn out that way. Ah yes, on January 11th, I, as well as many other Paprium backers, received the following email. Due to constant spam by a few, we cannot process legitimate support requests at this time. Please noted that most of our parcels were shipped before Christmas 2020. However, if your parcel is still marked as packing or shipping, it means it's not yet shipped and you will need extra patience. For people with refund requests, you are on a refund list and will be proceed as soon as we gain access to our new PayPal account. We will resume service in 15 days. We are sorry it takes time. Rest assured, everyone will get served in the end. Thanks for your support and patience. Best regards, Watermelon Team. Bear in mind, my arcade stick issue has still not been resolved at this point. I was really looking forward to getting this video out in some sort of timely manner. Believe me, I really was. I saw GameSack and a full review of the game before mine had even arrived, which I thought was fishy. But then this email really cleared everything up for me. And so now, I get to play the waiting game. Well, here it is! Paprium. Unboxing this game should have felt like a sweet release after years of waiting, but it just felt tedious. I, like pretty much everyone else, got a rattling cartridge and a whiny, elitist letter from Fonzie just crapping on new video game hardware and generally just being an ass. I still have yet to hear back from Watermelon support about my Grand Stick order, and my enthusiasm for this game has really just faded away. I honestly don't even want to play it, just because it constantly reminds me of what a nightmare just getting this damn thing was, and the continued nightmare that this stupid Grand Stick is causing me. And even if I did want to, I really can't. It seems like I was one of the lucky ones who has a Model 1 Genesis that is not compatible with Paprium. Every time I try and play, the game freezes up after only about 10 minutes. My initial intention with this video was to create an objective review of Paprium, ideally before too many other people had already done so. But this botched launch has made that impossible, and I honestly just don't care enough about this game to dedicate the time to do that. I want this channel to be made up of videos that I care about and put effort into because I feel like what I say matters. If you want a review of Paprium, check out Sticka's review of the game. He takes a really great objective view on Paprium, which is honestly just something I do not want to do. So why am I making this video then? Well, I've been working on it for months, and to tell my story of this horrible launch. Do I enjoy the game? Sure, I think it's fun, but beat 'em ups were never really exactly my cup of tea in the first place. I just like to see new Mega Drive games. But to me, it doesn't really matter how great your game is if you don't care about the people who are playing your game. If you read Fonzie's letter that comes with Paprium, he clearly does not care about us. He talks poorly about people who use clone consoles, and his attitude is very aggressive in general. Don't let anyone tell you that the way you enjoy games is wrong, be it through emulation or original hardware, CRT, or flat screen. At the end of the day, video games are something that are meant to be enjoyed. I can tell you with 100% certainty that this experience has convinced me to never support Watermelon or anything Fonzie does again, because he clearly doesn't care about the people who play his game. I'm sorry that the tone of this video is so different from my other content. I promise we can look at some fun, weird stuff real soon. I'm Bofner, and thanks for watching. See ya! But to be fair, the game is actually pretty fun, so I'm getting wicked bad cognitive dissonance where I'm upset about the stupidity of this entire situation, but I'm also really enjoying playing this game, at least when it doesn't crash. If I keep playing it, maybe I'll do a full review.